Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media, and this is Tuesday evening, and I'm having my brother Miguda. Miguda, how are you doing?
I'm doing very fine, Brother Benson.
Mm-hmm.
Over here,
Yeah,
it is cold Tuesday. How about
uh,
you?
I'm doing great, and we cannot complain of anything. We are just here trying to hustle na kujaribu kutafuta maisha kwa Kiswahili.
You are hustling or you are struggling. You know, we oppose the word hustler. We say it is not hustling, it is a struggling.
It depends. It depends with how, because I can remember this word we used to use it when we were in high school. Uh, no, immediately after high school, when you come out of high school and now you are out, uh, you are asked, uko wapi siku hizi? Mazejo mi na hustle na hii. Ama mi niko huko Kisumu na hustle najitafuta. So, but then President Ruto came and started to call himself hustler, you know. So during the campaigns of 2022, um, the word hustler was given definition. You know, people would go to the dictionary and look on how to define hustler, and I think it was because of the campaign season. That is now when people try to de-associate themselves with the word hustler, but it's something that majority of Kenyans or majority of youths is a word that people have always used um, in daily lives. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, you are right, because people used to tag themselves to be hustlers
Yes,
immediately after they have done their educations.
yes.
People of long time used to use the word napiga kibarua.
Hmm.
It transformed from piga kibarua to hustling. But now when people try to look deeper meaning of hustling into
Yeah.
the dictionary,
Hmm.
that's how people started to dissociate themselves with the word hustling, and people who are now called themselves struggler.
Yeah.
But the good news is
Yes.
the people who are objecting hustler narrative are currently that hustler government.
What have let me ask you, what has changed?
Politics, interest.
Interests have changed.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. And let's just you've mentioned something that the people who used to criticize and de-associate themselves with the word hustler are now the real people supporting the hustler. And this one, let's just,
Actually,
yeah.
they are the gatekeepers
No, they're not gatekeepers.
currently in that hustler government.
No, they're not. Those are not gatekeepers. Those are the insiders, Buana. Those are people who make decisions right now. Do you know a gatekeeper? Kama if you're a gatekeeper, it means especially when you visit these guided residentials, those have the security by the gate. You know, you have to get a security man by the gate. Yeah, and the security man will ask you questions. What do you want? Do you have any appointment? Yeah, and why are you here? And if um, if maybe your name is listed on the gate, you'll just pass. Yeah, so they are not gatekeepers. The gatekeepers, I mean, they are they are in the chambers. They are the decision makers right now. You remember they were experts, Buan. Are you
They are in the
forgetting?
kitchen. They are in the kitchen.
They are cooking. You remember they were experts. Yeah, and we are talking
Yeah.
about what you know. For the last 2 days, today is the second day that the president is at the coast, and he was accompanied by the leader of minority, Honorable Junet Muhammad, and experts, including Honorable Ali Hassan Joho, 001, remember, the former governor for Mombasa. But in the internet, things are burning, bwana. The Twitter imewaka pale moto based on what Joho said, and even the do we call it the arrogancy that they are portraying right now, and we are asking ourselves if Baba could have won this. These are just they're just invited, Bwana. What if Baba could have gotten it? tutakuwa wapi saa hizi?
That is ODM for you.
Tutakuwa wapi? And before we go into that, before we go into the discussion, this is what Caleb Amisi, the MP for Honorable Caleb Amisi, the MP for Sabot. I'm warning my colleagues, I quote, I'm warning my colleagues from opposition to stop excluding grandiose and arrogance while addressing Kenyans in public. You may be reaping big from the government as an individual, but remember the decades long of blood and sweat opposition supporters have endured goes beyond your life in politics. Kiburi ni mavuno. Wachia Kenya Kwanza. That is not who we are. You can put your point forward without abusing the very citizens from whom you drew your legitimacy. You make our political wing look bad and by extension valueless to any political cause in future. Please be guided. That is what Caleb Amisi 3 hours ago on his X handle. And we want to look at, there are a few things that I want to ask you. What I picked from this speech or from this uh, uh, handle. Kiburi na mavuno wachia Kenya Kwanza. That is not who we are. So who are they?
That's a lie.
Mm.
Caleb Amisi is lying to the public because we know who they are. Public know who ODM are. ODM are. Caleb Amisi is playing to the gallery, but is playing it wrongly because that kind of politics is only popular in Mount Kenya.
Yeah.
But in the western region where Caleb Amisi is coming from, that politics is not popular because the train has left the station and people are now joining UDA, ODM formation in the western region. Previously, you had Caleb Amisi also talked about impeaching President William Ruto. Sometimes back, he said that we are done with Rigathi Gachagua. Now we are going to impeach Deputy President William Ruto. He was still playing to the gallery, but it's very unfortunate for him because the gallery is not there to be played up onto because the train has left the station and the people of Western region currently are in their support of the current regime. You can only play such types of politics in Mount Kenya and you'll be popular and you'll be re-elected or got elected. However, missing the point. We know ODM very well because we are not new into this country. Kiburi is them at their Kiburi. Remember, people who are being attacked by Caleb Amisi
Yeah.
are the experts and Junet Mohammed, the minority leader. Junet Mohammed is known very well for his Kiburi. He's the one who even said during campaign that once Raila becomes the president, William Ruto will be charged and be in prison, be convicted at committee prison. And he is the person who is going to do that as Mtuamkono. That Kiburi is in that party, and even the way people are being handled during nominations of the party, during given issuance of the ticket. Joe and Junet, for the people who do not know them, the ODM knows them. They are good in attacking. That's why they are Raila's foot soldiers. Whenever they have the opponent, they know how to attack. They don't know how to defend the team, but they know how to attack. They are good in attacking. They're like Ishongwa in Ruto camp knows how to attack. Those guys, they know how to attack, and they are just attacking directly to the current impeached deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. Caleb Amisi is missing the point. He is one of the people who can be attacked by when you try to oppose any position of the party, the way Junet was saying, Junet, Opiyo and I and Bad, these are the insiders in that ODM. And make decisions in your absence and it can be executed to a point that you can lose your seat. Caleb Amisi should be very careful, or if he has decided to join the other camp, because we have two camps in the country. But currently, as things stand, there is absolutely no way ODM is not going to work with UDA. ODM is UDA, UDA is ODM, and that's why you have had UNET supporting that formation of that broad-based government. And actually, we have just discussed that they are insiders.
Yeah. Would you also agree with Amisi? Because Amisi is saying you make our political wing look bad by extension. valueless to any political cause in the future. So, and sometimes we might agree with Amisi because based on what everybody has known that ODM stands for, because ODM usually stands for democracy, and they've fought for social justice in the country. You know, if you remember very well, before joining the broad-based government, they used to put the government on toast by criticizing everything that the government is doing. Yeah, yeah, and they were speaking on behalf of the people. If I might be wrong, I might be wrong, but this is this is what I. But now things have really changed, you know, uh, and this is what Amisi is reminding them, especially. And I think this one was not even directed to ODM. This is Amisi might be directing this to Junet and Joho because for the last 2 days that the president has been at the coast, we've seen on how they've addressed the public. You know, like how like the public doesn't matter to them. You know, with that, do I call it disrespectful to the public to an extent where even Joe himself criticizing the the internet, the TikTok, the Instagram, and all that. But remember, he also has account, yeah, and even he has account in those platforms where people do follow him. He has quite a number of people who are following his lifestyle, and now he's coming. So would you also say that Amis is still playing to the gallery because he's telling them that uh, that you make our political wing, and that is not who we are. You can put your point forward without abusing the citizens. Yeah, what is wrong? Yeah, if I disagree with you, they can put their points well without disagreeing or without abusing or disrespecting us. You know, then this is what he's saying. Then abusing the citizen from whom you draw your legitimacy, you make our political wing look bad. You know, and remember how the people, actually the opposition, I mean, has been the population of the good population of Kenya has always been behind ODM. And when those two gentlemen, the two members, do I call them the experts and the member of parliament, is coming out to disrespect people, you still don't believe that Caleb Amis is right?
Which democracy?
Which-
Which social justice? Caliber is not right because
yeah.
the Kenyans people or the country has never been good to ODM. They
Mhm.
haven't been good to ODM. ODM has been accused of many things. It has been accused of the party that is full of violence.
Yeah.
There is, there is no democracy in ODM because how they handle their nominations. They have even been accused that when people have gone for demonstration, the people who
Yeah.
have lost their life, who have been injured, they don't look after them. They don't care whether they have been compensated or not. People have been complaining about this party. So today, Kalima Misi cannot come and purport to the public that they have the value to the Kenyan people. And you have heard what Junet said that you cannot control my politics. I
Mhm.
have my mouth. I speak what I want. My politics, my choice. It means very clearly, Brother Benson, it's all about interest. Whenever the interest is something, they will do what they are doing right now. But whenever their interest is not being served, they will protest. If you talk about democracy does not mean that when you lose elections, you join the person who has won that election and support that person. Democracy doesn't mean that whenever someone has lost election, you must protest that election of the winner. If someone has won that election, you must support that person. It doesn't mean that you are in opposition at the same time you are in government. That's not democracy. Democracy, there must be a winner and a loser. There must be somebody who have the say and somebody who has his way. According
But
to me,
yeah.
United has confessed that you cannot choose for him the politics you is playing. He plays
Mhm.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's where my point will be. That's why I will disagree with my party that they are losing their value, they are Democratic Party, they fight for social justice, but the inner circle people, the people who are at the inner circle have said that you guys watch, let us play whatever we are playing right now. You can't control our politics. Our politics is our choice.
Okay, thank you so much. And if we argue like that, if he says that my politics is my politics is your choice. What if other people also say that our politics is your choice, and we decided that we are going to do politics in the internet or through the social media platforms? That is fair enough.
That's now, that's where I want to disagree with the Joho.
Yeah.
With Junet, because Junet is right by saying that it's his choice. That's okay.
Yeah.
We don't care. We don't, but we are disagreeing with them because they are saying that the people who are criticizing government of the internet, they are going to come for them. And Joe was very categorical that I'm going to come for you. How do you now interfere with someone space who is practicing his politics in the internet? How do you interfere that person's right? Because that person has leave you to play your politics the way you want it, just do whatever you want to with your politics. But whenever that person has created his own platform to do his politics in the internet, that's where you draw the line. Let us also, there's very way the people have allowed them to play their politics. Let them also allow other people to play their politics, be it on the internet, be it on platforms, be it on the church. Let every person has his space, that freedom of expression, free media. The reason why I'm saying that Caliber miss is still missing the point. The very bad body has been supporting free speech, free media, freedom of internet. But today, they are castigating the internet users. That one means that they are now playing the politics of the day, that they are in government and they're supporting each and everything the government is doing. And
Yeah.
anybody is trying to object the government, you are an enemy to the status quo. Very simple. Caliber Misi is an enemy to the status quo. That's what I'm saying. Caliber Misi still misses the point. It's high time for him to join them, or he will be shown the door.
Okay, thank you. Let's now come to the Junet Mohammed, the minority leader, the member of parliament from Suna. Is this Suna East, right? You know, yesterday he was talking about the public participation, and to me, I feel that he was saying that the public participation is not very important because they tend to delay the government projects or the government development that wants to take place. You know, but I don't know whether he's aware that during the time that he was not supporting the government or he was not in the broad-based government, he was the person who was fighting for this public participation. And me and you know very well that public participation has been something that has been discussed. And at some point, people were arguing, or the Kenyans were arguing, like we should enact um, some laws so that to quantify or to make public participation more valid. Because right now, you cannot say, you cannot quantify, because somebody can come and contact me and you, and say, okay, we've done public participation, and that can be accepted because um, it has all it has been carried out, right? But now a member of parliament is saying, from the look of things, that this should be abolished. What is your take?
My take is very simple that currently Junet Mohammed is in government and he must protect the status quo by all means. By him saying that we should abolish public participation. Previously, when they were in opposition before the broad-based government, they were very categorical that they should, in fact, introduce an act in parliament to introduce a public participation act that it can outline on how members of the public can carry out public participation, that can define what is it that is
Mhm.
public participation. Does it mean that at what number do we say that it is public participation or it was public participation? They were trying to bring that act in parliament, that bill in parliament. Right now, they are in government. They are objecting public participation because they are saying there are so many things in the constitution that are derailing government project. Whenever government want to start a project, it must go through public participation. It must go through. Some people do go to court and stop because most of the cases which has been stopped by the court concerning government projects have been based on public participation. That there was no public participation. So they want to scrape out public participation in the constitution so that anybody who want to go to court to stop any government project through public participation, that person could not be granted that objection by the court. He further goes ahead and say that even some people go to judiciary, they go to parliament, they go to civil society, they go to churches. He said that there's no way each and every society, each and every sector want to stop government project whenever government project has taken off. That can tell you that these guys, they are supporting the government of the day, and it was very clear that the experts know very well on how to carry those agendas. The reason why he was dwelling on the public participation because what most of the projects, even the time when house levy was stopped by the court,
Mhm.
it was they look at public participation that there was no proper public participation for that levy. Even
Yeah.
when the finance bill was rejected, the 2022, 2020, 2023, 2024, they
Yeah.
said that there was no public participation.
Mhm.
That's why they are saying that once we remove this public participation from the constitution, we can have our agendas or our projects will move swiftly. But they are forgetting that public participation was put there deliberately so that the government cannot go on to do some projects without the consent of the people. They are regretting that if there was no public participation in the constitution, the identity deal could have taken off. The identity deal has now been cancelled because there's that provision of public participation.
Yeah.
That's why Net Mohammed was so big about public participation and they wanted to be scraped off in the constitution of Kenya.
Okay. And if you listen to Junet Muhammad also, he was talking about the housing that was in their manifesto, especially the Azimio manifesto. He talked about the electricity connection to the homes, and now he says there's nothing to oppose right now because everything that was in the manifesto of Azimio is now being implemented in the broad-based government or in the Kenya Kwanza government. So my question to you is, what has really changed? Because even the house levy, when it was first introduced, the people who protested most, even more than Kenyans, were Junet, the member of parliament, especially the member of parliament from opposition. They're the people who protested. And when you come to house levy, you know, there, I usually insisted that, and I also said here, that the housing, affordable housing is one of the very best ideas. Yeah, it's one of the brilliant ideas that the country has. But there are so many questions that need to be answered because one, and if they can answer these questions, I, I'll be glad. And I would say one is about where the houses are being built. Those are public land. Yeah, that is public land. Yes, they're for public. They're not just built on ordinary land because the government do not purchase this land. They are public already. That is one. Secondly, you are being deducted for the construction of the house, which means the main idea is for you to own a house. I don't know whether we are right there. So, at the same time, after the completion of this house, you can buy. Yeah. So, why are you contributing? That is one. So, just in case you umenunua, you've bought this house, you get because sometimes they're being sold at the price the market price, and you buy it with 3.2 or 3.2 for two bedroom, depending on where the construction is or depending on the site, whether it's closer to town or in the village. You should be given the certificate. So which means you gain the ownership of the house. But this is a public land. You are given the ownership of it. Can you use the same certificate to acquire or secure a loan with it?
First, you might saying that the government, whatever the government is doing, that's what they wanted to do. Now there's nothing to oppose in that government. That's
Mm,
a clear indication that their interest is being served. Once the interest is being served by the government, they have absolutely no reason to oppose that government. That's why they are saying everything William is carrying out. He goes further and said that he has seen nothing to oppose yet. Once there's been nothing to oppose, he will oppose it. And he said that the time they were opposing things when they were in the National Assembly with Opio and I, it was because they were not in the government. They could not understand how things are being done.
Yeah,
Right now, they have got the know-how things have been done in the government, so they cannot oppose. It's a good thing for the people of Kenya. Talk about the issue of housing. The issue of housing, in my view, if it's a public land, not a private land, once that they are built, they are deducted your money from the people payrolls. They are constructing the houses. After that, they say that you purchase it. After purchasing it, it belongs to the public land, not private land.
yeah,
And once you have if you have your own title, you can use that title to secure a loan. But I do not see a state whereby you can use a public title to secure a loan. That's where there's a difference between the private title and
yeah,
public title. Because public title belongs to the public. Maybe a private title, if at all it was your own title, you can use it to secure a loan in the bank, or you can use it maybe to as a collateral to secure your bond in court of law. Whenever you have committed any crime and there is need for such bond, you can use that title deed to secure a bond as a collateral.
mm,
But I do not think public title can be used by individual. There is so much disagreement in that provision of the land. It is a good idea. I'm not opposed to it because the future is urban and most people are heading there. But there could be a way they could have done it. Each and every time they are carrying out any project, they must have interest over it. You do not know the interest about this housing they are bringing to the people of Kenya. Maybe in future things will just unfold and we will know the way things of Adani unfold and Kenyans knew that it was not a good deed for the public.
yeah. By the way, talking of Adani, you had the president say today that the majority of people who are complaining or who were complaining about Adani wajawahi panda ndege hata wajawahi fika airport. Yeah.
It's not about kupanda ndege na kufika airport.
Eh,
But maybe wajapanda ndege but wamefika airport. People have gone to airport. When people were in primary schools, high schools, they were used to be taken to airport to see how airport looked like. People have gone to airport.
yeah.
Maybe they have not wajawahi panda ndege, but about airport, people have moved even to parliament before. People used to go to such places. If you are in primary school, you used to organize trips. In the secondary, you used to organize trips. You go to those things like airport, parliament building, museums. People have been moving to those places.
Let me tell you something. I think like it's not an issue of you going to airport or issue of you boarding the plane, but it's the issue of you paying the tax. Kulipa ushuru. Yeah. So and uh, one of the things that based on some few people that I've interacted with, even those who are coming from they said to be developed world. There are people in developed world. Some of them have never even boarded a plane. Yeah. Labda wewe saa zingine utakuwa umeona mzungu mahali unaona huyu. Kuna wengine hawajawahi panda ndege. Yaani ni dream yake kupanda ndege. Mm? And ukimwambia ulipanda ndege ati imekuchukua kitu kama around even 17 hours or like hours zenye umechukua 14 hours maybe from Kenya to sema, how did you do it? Oh, I don't think I can do that. Yeah? Some of them in those so it is not about going to the airport. I think it was about accountability. Yeah. So that the future generation that is coming, they should know what happened for the history purposes. Because remember, they were going to take airport for 30 years. Hiyo 30 years, sisi hatutakuwepo. Yeah. But you have to leave a history for your lineage to come and say, okay, they did a good job. So that is also something that is there. So let's come to Joho.
Before you go to your,
Eh,
even in the developed countries, and you are a victim, we are being told that in fact, the president is telling us that the people outside there, they usually used to like use the example the United States of America, that even in America, they pay tax half of their salary and they are not complaining. But the question is, we know that they are paying half, almost half of the salary, they are complaining. But the service delivery, but in Kenya, you are tax, but there is nothing you receive. So you have to complain because there is nothing that tax is doing for you.
and yeah, so that's also is there because like yes, the service delivery and you know and feeling your nation is working, because if you find even those who are being taxed, if you talk to people who are living outside the country on their taxes, the system seems to be working, you know. So even though you might complain that they're taking a lot of tax, but the system is working. When you go to the health sector, the health sector is working. And this is something that I really said, it will take Kenya a long time, especially um to solve the issues at the health sector. It's so much complex. And I don't think um it will require, I don't know, the leader who will come and solve the complexity in the health sector, because we are not only looking at the SHA shift and all that, the insurance that is being provided by the government, but to look at the entire system of the health sector, you know, from the the doctors, the nurses, everybody that is working over there, to the medication, the pharmacy, the people who are getting drugs and all that. Look at that entire system, because you know, Kenya, sometimes when it comes to health sector, we might be dealing only with one department at a time. Maybe right now we are dealing with the salaries of the doctors and the bargaining that they made with the government, you know, that is there, you know, is there, we are dealing with it. Yeah. Then after that, there will be this issue of the provision of the medication. Yeah. Sometimes you go to the hospital, in the government hospitals, there's no medication. Yeah, you are forced to go and buy the medication outside where it's too much expensive. Yeah, that is that. Then again, come to now the healthcare providers themselves. Yeah, are they well paid? Yeah, like if you look at what happened to the KNH, the young guy who died, you saw that on the newspaper yesterday. Yeah, it was being rumored that he was on duty for 36 hours straight at KNH, dealing with patients for 36 hours. You know, that is not, it's not an easy thing. So you have to look at the working conditions, you know. So to kwa Kiswahili tunasema yule mtu atakuja kutengua ile maneno iko katika uh, ile afya hapo kwa afya, idara ya afya, atakuwa ni mtu ambaye amemakinika na ana uweledi mjuu sana kulingana na mambo ya afya. Si matibabu, si malipo kwa madaktari, si madawa kwa wale ambao wanakuja, si wagonjwa, lakini ni ile ambayo inataka uh, uangalifu mkubwa sana, kwa sababu even with the introduction of SHIF and SHA, all that, that is not going to solve the issue. I'm telling you, I'm here with you. It is not going to solve the issue, because at the end of the day, there's somebody wants to benefit from it. Kama bado wagonjwa bado hawaja benefit, lakini kuna ule mtu asha benefit. So maybe your take on that.
They do not want Kenya to talk about anything to do with SHA shift. They are saying SHA shift is 100% transformation of universal health coverage. But we are here to wait and see because we have objected it before, we have been objecting it. They don't want anybody to talk about it. They don't want any criticism from the social media, be it from the mainstream media. We are just want to, but even when we point out issues, we interact with the fellow Kenyans on a daily basis. Some people are coming from hospital that today I was from hospital. It has not worked for me.
Yeah.
We got the real information, the raw information from the people on the ground
Mhm.
that the share shift is not working,
Yes.
but they are in denial. It is not working. Even the people who were just registered previously, there's no that transformation from the NIF. In fact, NIF was a bit better compared to the share shift. How
Uh,
it's going to work, I don't know. That was their own project. We are just here to wait and see and how they are going to implement it.
okay, thank you so much. I'm seeing Brother Gitonga. Hi, Brother Benson and Gen Z and Gen Z zote. Gen Z zote. Tunakuja kuongea mambo ya Gen Z shisha. I think I'm not opposing even the Shah shape, but the Shah, the shape, and what you call it, the issue here is whether it is transformation. The transformation can be there, but if you do not have the correct data, for instance, in most developed countries, uh, there's data for every person because you can find like there are um, incidences where you are given the opportunity. One, you can buy your own insurance if you can decide to buy your own insurance. And when you buy your own insurance, either you can buy it through where you are employed, or you as a person, you are doing your own business, you buy it, and you will look at what medical cover are you taking because they are in the category, you know, so you do not have a problem. So you don't pay to the government. Then there are insurance cover that is offered by the government. The one like now the she, yeah, that is an insurance cover that is offered by the government. And how does it work? One, in developed areas, maybe somebody in the comment section can assist me to understand. In developed countries, what usually happens if you cannot afford to buy your own insurance through your employer or individually, when you go to buy through the government, one of the things that they will be looking at your income. Yeah. What is your income? And how do you get your income? So because the government have your data and they will register you with either like KRA, the PIN number, so they know who you are, where you work. Because if you have KRA number, which means you are emitting tax, so they know where you're working or they can trace you. If you're not working still, you have the KRA PIN number, they know you're not generating any money or you're not employed anywhere. So they will know if you're working and they will look at your income and they see how your income is, they will give you cover, but there's small amount of money that you will pay. Yeah. And remember, in some of these developed countries, the government usually does not control health system. The only thing they do is to provide coverage. So when it comes to payment of the doctors, it will depend with those private sectors who have this hospital to pay their caregivers. They will negotiate. The government does not have. So you find that it has really worked in those areas. That's why when you see our members of parliament or big leaders going to get treatment abroad, they do not go to the facilities those are run by the government. Those are private and they have to pay through their insurance. The government does not have anything to offer, provided that your insurance can offer that. So that is what is there. So in health, in the matters of health and the health sector as a whole, it it will still be very challenging to anybody. Even with the Shah and all that, there will be still be a challenge, my brother. I'm telling you. So that is what I can say. Now, can we go to Joho, or you have something to say about it?
We can proceed to Joho.
Uh-huh. The 001.
Governor Ray.
What has really changed? Is this the Joe we used to know, or there's something that has really happened?
Expert. Currently,
Expert.
he's an expert.
Yeah.
Joe, in
Uh-huh,
my view,
uh-huh,
Joe is just being honest.
uh-huh,
And Joe is accepting the reality of the nature of the politics of the country.
mm,
Because as things stand right now,
yeah.
Joe an affiliate to Odinga, and he has paid loyalty to Odinga for a long period of time. When Odinga went into broad-based government with William Ruto, Joe followed Odinga. He did not back off from the agreement as a loyal follower of Raila. He has been taking instruction from Raila. And now it's very clear that they are experts and they have to sustain and they have to make that government to be stable. So he has got no any reason not to speak the language of the government. The only problem is Joe has been in opposition since he joins politics.
Mm,
He has been speaking and representing the interests of the people.
yeah.
But now he has found himself in a scenario whereby he's in that government which he has been opposing from the word go. What do? You can't oppose yourself, and also you cannot object the manifesto of that government because you are part and parcel in that government. In fact, you are sitting in the cabinet meeting of that government. Joe has a duty to protect the status quo. Joe has a duty to protect the policies of the government. Joe has a duty to protect the interests of the party leader, Raila Odinga, in that government.
Mm,
Therefore, Joe has just done what if anybody was that government could have done. Remember, even Rigathi Gachagua, when it was that government, he used not to object it. Nowadays, he's telling us things which we are asking, why could you have not talked while you are in the government? Why are you waiting that for you to be impeached? Then you are talking now. So, Joe, let him just, the problem is just he has been in opposition for us for so long. People are now not understanding it, but is real, is himself. The only problem I have with Joe,
mhm,
and maybe I can exclude Junet,
mhm,
Joe could have just let the people on internet to do their job because he has the ODM party has always stood for the right of or free media and free speech, free expression. It could be in contrary when they are objecting people who are objecting them. They open that room. It is also. They should allow people to criticize them. They should just open that room, especially the young people. They should not just go to an extent of even going low to respond to a citizen who was criticizing him. He would just allow that space for young people to criticize the government, also to air their views through
yeah.
X. Because we people, we don't sit in the cabinet. We are not in parliament. We are not in bunge la wananchi like some of us. There's nowhere you can get our views. It's only through X space where we can air our views, our grievances in the government. If they are good for you, you can use them and implement. If they are bad for you, you don't need to take anything. As we have given them their and they really just say that it is Ismail. We have given them their space and their platform to air the policies of the government and to drive the government agenda. We also request them allow us, members of the public, also to have our spaces because we are not in parliament, we are not in the cabinet, we are not the judiciary, we are not the bunge la wananchi. We are available on X spaces. That's where we can also contribute to the progress of the nation. Let that's the only problem I have with video. Let him allow young people to
Mhm.
express themselves, to air their views, and also to have that free speech. Let him not limit people.
But now the issue, I think the issue Joe might be having is the issue of criticizing the government that that he sees that Kenyans are not very patriotic, and he feels that each and every time the people or the majority of Kenyans are criticizing the government through internet, and that's why he's making it. He's making him to be so hungry, and and he was even saying that why people are not kind of supporting even the project that was being launched today. that instead of supporting those projects, the majority of Kenyans go on the internet and criticize those. So that's where the point is.
I got you very well. I got Joe very well. He said that one. In addition to that, you also see that people are calling Raila Odinga to fail to become the AUC.
Yeah,
And he said that people should not call for Raila to fall. People should be patriotic. I still disagree with Joho. You cannot force someone to support anything. You
yeah,
cannot compel someone to support anything. People have right. I have a right not to support the way he has a right to support,
yeah,
because we claim to be a democratic space society, and our constitution is very progressive. Therefore, you cannot demand people to support Raila because he's going to be the ANC chairperson. You can't force people to support the government project. I have a right. Maybe, in my view, I don't want Raila to become the AUC. I want him to become the president of Kenya. I don't want Raila to go to continental politics. I want him to be in the local politics, because when he's in local politics, at least the government sometimes cannot lie to the people, because Raila will not sit back and watch wrong things going to the government. That's
yeah.
my view. You must incorporate my view. There's no way that you think your view is the best. You want Raila to go to AUC so that you can remain here and dominate the politics of the country. Me, I don't want Raila to go to AUC. I want him to remain here so that he can put the government on toes. We have different views. It should not force people to support Raila. It should not force people to support government projects, because, according to me, in my view, maybe I don't want government project. That's why I'm telling Joe,
Mhm.
we are not disagreeing with him. We don't dislike him. The problem is he should allow that space for everybody, that democratic space, that you have a freedom, you can express yourself, you can air your views. I don't need to support you. I can. The fact that I'm not supporting Raila doesn't mean that he's going to lose. The fact that I'm supporting Raila doesn't mean that he's going to win. The fact that I must support my project, it is not a must, because even some people do not even know that. Some people were not even aware that today Ruto was in Tetaveta. Some people were busy in their business. People we don't know even Joe was speaking. So you don't need to compel people to do things your way. That's the way I have a problem with Joe. But let him just enjoy his expert
Uh,
position and do the right thing.
so does it mean that patriotism is selective?
Patriotism is not selective. The problem they are trying to tell us here that patriotism is coercing. They are coercing you to be patriotic.
Mm,
You have that right to choose. You can decide not to be patriotic. There is no offense in our laws that if I'm not patriotic, I'll be
yeah.
charged with such an offense. It is not an offense in the Kenyan context and even in the international laws that someone who is not patriotic should be charged with the such and such offense locally or internationally. It is freely. It's something you should decide by your own. No one should coerce you to be patriotic. It's like they're telling you even that you must vote. Voting is important, but it is not a must. Just like patriotism is very much important and urgent, but it's not a must. You don't need to be patriotic, but it's very important for you to be patriotic. Those should distinguish those things. That it is very important for us to be patriotic. It's important for us to vote, but it is not a must that if you don't vote, you are going to be taken through trial in the court process. If you're not patriotic, you're going to be taken in trial through court process. It's not an offense for you not to be patriotic or to be patriotic. That's where I have a difference with Joho.
Sorry about that. And because the reason why I was asking you that the patriotism is selective, um, because he was not talking about even of supporting those who are not supporting Baba. He was also talking about the projects that are happening. Because like not everybody will think the same, or not everybody will have the same view. The way you view the government or the way you view the right honorable prime minister might be quite much different on how I view him and what he stand for and what I believe I stand for. you know but now, take for example like the government. you know any government that has been in power, always there has to be a place whereby somebody has to criticize you. Even if you're doing 100% best, you cannot miss out on somebody who is going to criticize you. At least you will find one thing, or somebody will find some one issue where they can criticize you as a government, which is okay. Yeah. But that one does not mean that you are not patriotic. Yeah. As a concerned citizen, you feel on that particular area, you are not doing it well. On the same, I tend to believe if today the government of William Ruto will do something or will perform a project that is good, I don't think like Kenyans can just decide not to say that on this one, the president has done it well. Yeah.
Brother Benson, this is why I agree with you in your last point, is
Yeah.
because even when government cancel Adani,
Yeah.
no one's saying that it is wrong to cancel Adani. People say that's the right thing to do because
Yeah.
they have done the right thing. So if you do the right thing, Kenyans are not insane that they will object you. But if you do the wrong thing, you will not stop people not to talk. You will not stop people not to object or to complain about the wrong things with the government.
Mhm.
People must speak. That's what they fought for. Those who are there, they fought for that free speech, that democratic space. Therefore, the point I was just trying to put across is let us allow tolerance
Yeah.
whereby we tolerate each other.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you must say you must view it the way I'm viewing it. Even if you are working like today, they launch whatever they were launching. It is good for the government and for the people. But it doesn't mean that it must that if it's good for Joe and Ruto, it must be good for me. It
Yes.
cannot be good for that's where we want to tell people. You don't need to force people to accept everything you are doing. That is not now democracy.
Especially now, let's take for example the project that were being launched today. That is a private, uh, right? Is a private company that is being launched, and we know one, it will create employment to the people who are coming from that area. Yeah. So many young men and young women will be absorbed in that area. So that one, there's a creation of job opportunities. And by president going to launch that project, I would say that president did a good thing by going to launch that project, because I know out of that, two or three boys who did not have employment will have employment. It means now their families will have to have like a little bit of um, good life. There will be, the life will be changed at some. They can even afford to pay school fee for their young ones. And that is okay. But if uh, the president says that I'm going, like there was that iron steel project that he say hiyo kiwanda itaanza kujengwa kesho. Yeah. So which means tukienda leo, we will get that kiwanda. So I think it is okay. It is always good to have positive to criticize where necessary. And oh, he's lost. Yeah, to criticize where necessary. And by criticizing, it doesn't mean that we you are hated. Yeah. By criticizing, it means that the job is not being done well. So it reminds you that you have to pull up your socks. So that is there. Oh, let me wait for me good. I don't know what happened. And no, there's also an issue here that we need to talk about, the issue of Inject Party, the party of Morara. What is happening is the SG of the party, that is Joshua Okayo, left the party, and we don't know their next move, whether they are going to form a new political party as a Gen Z, or they are going to join political party or existing political parties. And this is something that um, I'd always say that the Gen Z, the Gen Z, the Gen Z will be very influential in the 2027 general election, but the Gen Z will not win the presidency. And the reason why I say the Gen Z will not win the presidency is because each and every person now is going apart. I don't know, it's because of the political interest, or I don't know what is happening. It started very well. You can remember when we had Makoure, yeah, and when you Makoure was like the face of the Gen Z, you know. And what happened? Makoure Kasmuel just decided and joined the Orange political party. Hey, Miguda, how are you doing?
Very, very fine, very fine.
Kwani internet yako imeenda wapi?
They have had me criticize the government. Now they are trying to limit. They don't want anyone to criticize them.
Okay, so
I think
I,
we
I
are
was
in a dictatorial country. This is a constitutional democracy.
yeah, I was just I just started talking about the Inject party of Morara. You know, the SG of the Inject party, uh, Joshua Okayo, the Kenya School of Law president, yeah, and other members uh, left the party, and the reason being is because of ideology. I don't know what is the main reason, and I can go to the tweet of Okayo and see what he wrote. This is 1 day ago. Joshua Okayo. Let me go there and see what he wrote. This is what he said. We officially, I quote, we officially parted ways with the Inject team and announced the way forward for movement. The movement is bigger than any individual. Team interest, team interest will override an individual interest being pushed from one corner. We remain a united front. The youth of this nation must unite to influence political decisions that affect our lives and livelihoods. Now, this is now. If he says the youth of this nation must unite to influence the political divisions that affects our lives and livelihoods, and they are living in Inject Party, and they are the youths, how then will they unite? What trust are you going to, to give the people? Because even where you are going, if you form a political party, you know, or you're going with that movement, there are those who are going to have divergence view. How are you going to accommodate them?
That is now the young people.
Yeah, the young people, because this is the party of the young people, they inject, or let's say that Inject was not there. And these are young people who have come together, and they've come together because for a cause they feel like the kind of the political or the political system that is in place right now, or in the scenario or in Kenya is not favorable to them. And they're trying to bring in new political idea, new leadership. But even before 1 year, they've parted ways. We saw that when there was, it started with Mercy Tarus and Morara about Kenyan home, and they parted ways. Kasmuel was there, they parted ways. Now we are seeing uh, Joshua Okayo has also left. What is happening?
It's very sad to see the young people dividing amongst themselves, or you see the young people going their own way. The young people can no longer hold that unity. It's a sad moment in the country because you know the unity of the young people was their strength.
Yeah.
That unity was their strength. The fact that they were able to be united, they put their tribes aside, they put their differences aside, and they were united under one common goal to overhaul of the system. That unity alone sent shivers to members of parliament, even to Mr. President. Everybody was shivering in the country, the leaders, because of the unity of the young people. But it's very sad now, the young people, the government or the National Intelligence Service has managed to have successfully divided the young people. They
How
have
do
been
you
divided.
know? How do you know?
I'm privy to the information. I cannot disclose the public, but what I can attest to you is that even among those young people, the people who are calling the press conference, some of them are government, are state agents.
But now let's that talk get off of the state agent, you know, and look at these young people and look at even Morara himself with coming with Inject Party, you know. And this one brings us to the kind of politics that we usually do, ownership of the party. Because if you own the party, you know you have uh, unilateral or you have autonomy over that party. Yeah, you are the secretary, you are the party leader, you decide who you want to give the position. Do you think that one also could be happening in the Inject Party? So there's no that collectivity of ideas whereby everybody gives his own idea and see this is how we want to run this party.
That's happening in the Inject Party. It's happening in the Inject Party, and you will agree with my first submission because the Inject Party, there was no delegation of the work towards other leaders in that party because the press was called by the SG of that party. But it's like all the activities have been taken care of by the party leader. The office of the SG in that Inject Party was having no authority to carry any duty for the party position. The
Mm,
office of the Secretary General could not even organize any because we have asked Morara even to try to register people, even try to go around the country to advertise the party.
yeah.
The role of Secretary General has not been effective in that party. And they were very categoric that whenever members goes to the headquarters to see the party leader, sometimes the party that will not avail himself the people. He could hide himself and later can come and address the people. Once he has addressed the people, it is done. There's no one who will speak after him. There is no one who's going to speak before him. So it's like he has taken all the authority of that party. It
Mm,
has been bestowed to one person, one individual. It was more of an individual property, that
yeah.
Inject Party. And that's the culture which the young people wanted to fight because most of our political party are own parties. They are more of individual party. If we have a young party, for instance, the Inject Party, the young party for the young people, and we have copy pasted the culture of the old party to the old people. That's why I say it's very unfortunate and it's sad that the young people have successfully been divided amongst themselves and they have not allowed any new idea or any information to emerge currently because anybody is trying to come with a new idea or information to
Yeah.
counter the status quo. They have succeeded, they have suppressed that movement, they have suppressed that emerging new idea, they have suppressed that emerging new information. That's why the party leader of Inject Party has not even respond to the people who called the press conference because he himself knew that he was doing it for himself. Because the people also complained that by the time they were going to those some rally, they were in Embu, they could cater for their own accommodation, transportation, food, and the people of Kenya paid for those accommodation,
Yeah.
paid for transportation, paid for food. People paid to Inject Party to facilitate that movement, facilitate that caravan. That caravan was facilitated. Even the PS system was bought by the people's money. So if the members of the public contributed for the people to progress their idea, but it's like the people who were in the inner circle, the official that party, were sidelined by the party leader. It's a clear indication that there was no uniformity. There was no one common goal for the young people. The young people, most of the people who were innocent in the movement were genuine. But the people who purport to be leaders, the people who portray themselves to be leaders of the movement, the people on the mainstream media, those people were just being used to persuade people that they are with the cause, but the real people who are the real original and who are genuine about the cause were left on the ground. That's what I can tell you. The people protect themselves. But sometimes I like what Kasmil did. Kasmil find out that there is no Gen Z movement.
Yeah.
Kasmil find out that this Gen Z thing is like people are making money, people are making deals with it. As for him, he decided to openly, broad daylight, he moved to current resident. He made Raila from Capital Hill, then current resident, and currently he has been seen associated with the ODM, and he has declared himself to belong to ODM party. He has declared himself to support the government. agenda. So with Kasmil Makoure, with him, Gen Z at least propelled him to a public figure whereby he was identified, he was seen as a leader. Then he has been he has been poached by ODM, and currently is the ODM Academy being mentored by Raila Odinga. Other people who took this opportunity as it's also normal, Brother Beto, this is so life. People can decide to, maybe they've seen an opportunity, they have progressed their own individual interest, just like the older politicians. Right now, the people who are supporting the government, they are just after their interest. And I'm not surprised because it's politics. The people who are calling press conference now, they were in that movement. They never bear back in their mind that politics is all about interest. Some were just there without knowing that. Right. So there should be no so much pressure to the young people.
Yeah.
There should be no so much tension among the Inject people who are now starting their own political way. I just have to remind them. I just want to remind them that it is politics. It's all about interest. Next
And
time they just find themselves working with Morara.
and now, if you look at how they are parting ways, and this is something that gave a lot of Kenyans hope. Like each and every time when Kenyans are having conversations, nobody will go without mentioning of the Gen Z. Like this is the generation that we need, or these are the people that we need. And even if you look at right now, and it's something that we will discuss going towards 2027, all these political leaders or all these political parties, they are eyeing for the Gen Z. And that's why you talked about Casmuel Makore. He went to ODM, and he's going to ODM. One might be of his personal interest. Two, it is because of the generation where he is at, as a Gen Z. So the ODM feels that with having Makore on their side, there are people who are going to come to ODM, or the people who are going to support them based on based on the fact that Makoure is with them, because they feel he has like fanatic followers that is there. Now, when you go to Hanifa too, I saw her with the His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka. They believe, you know, and now we are also seeing the Joshua and his team are now moving out. Where are they headed? Where are they headed?
I do not know where they are headed, but I will advise them. If at all they are, because Joshua is we have hosted Joshua here. I also saw Thomas Sankara on that press interview. He's a member of this channel. Those people who are calling the press conference, some of them are members of the channel. I want to advise them, and they will watch this video. I will advise them, from the look of things, let them go to ODM, because the reason is very clear. They let them go where Samuel has gone, because they are trying they are trying to put themselves in a scenario, but they want them to be identified and for them to join any political party. The reason why they should go to ODM, because in ODM, in my view, they have, if they want to be leaders, because what I want to put clear is that there is no way they will come as a force, as partyless, as leaderless, as formless to negotiate, because no one will look for them. So if they want to be future leaders, they should focus where, because this is why I'm saying that, because most of them come from that region where ODM is dominant. And that's what Mark Samuel has seen. And Samuel has said, okay, if I'm coming from the dominant ODM region, let me go to the ODM so that I can be given direct ticket. ODM like giving people direct ticket. So if they want to be leaders, they can just go there and they can have their direct tickets, because they've demonstrated in times of war, they were leading from front. When we went to demonstration, they were leading from front, and they have demonstrated that brave, that with us we are brave, we can lead demonstrations. So they should just find the way. And if it's trying to move to Wiper, because in Wiper, she can have a soft landing. Morara is also trying to negotiate. People are just moving. Those are the people There are some comrades whom I know have gone to UDA. There are some comrades who have gone to UDA because they have a soft landing at UDA. Because we have not succeeded as young people to have
Mhm,
our own political party as per now. And things are also running. 20% just near. If they want to be in parliament
mhm.
next
So
election, they should find how they can. They should look for a vehicle which can take them to parliament.
So to be just to be honest with you, is that like most of the time the youth usually tend to say or tend to believe that they've been not been given the opportunity to serve in this country. Yeah, especially when they're talking about being given opportunity. You want this opportunity, maybe you go to UDA, you want a youth to be given opportunity in a UDA, which sometimes is not very logical because
It's not logical and it's not what we want,
yeah.
but that is what is happening. You cannot live in that it is not happening. It's happening.
But
And
now,
even the people who are there are doing it. They are moving to those parties.
why, if you're saying that you've not been given opportunity to serve in this country to or to be part of the political processes, and now there's an opportunity that has come, the laws allows you of the land, the laws of around you of the land allows you to form a political party and talk to the people of your age mate or the people of your group. Yet the people whom you share with the same youthful age, you're not agreeing on the policies in terms of politics. And now come to election, when now the old guy, all politicians will clinch these seats, then you will say that the youths were not given a chance, even to vie for those political seats. Let's say, for example, you want to vie for a member of parliament somewhere, and whereby you need the support of the youths, and the youth that you need their support, you're not in agreement with them. How are you going to win?
That's now the point. The youths are not united. The youths are not in agreement in some most of because the youths have been divided along their own interests. The youths were lying that they love each other. They don't love each other.
So
And that's why I'm telling you this. Look at that formation. Look at that formation. Look at that press conference. If they have their own political party,
in that
who
com
are
let me
which constituency are likely going to join them?
and I think there's something here that also we need to talk about, especially about the about the real issues, and the real issues, and what is on the ground, and what is uh the real. Did Makobura disappear? Yeah, we talk about the real issues because when you come to the internet, yeah, when you come to the internet, yeah, the the youths tend to unite and they talk in one voice. And we were here with you when we discussed with you, and I told you something about. I'm not kind of like talking very negative about Morara, no, but there's some of the things that I pointed out, especially in Inject Party, and if they've parted ways with the SG, it's because some of the things that I talked about. Remember when we were here, Morara used to tweet using the word "I." Remember the "I" word? Yeah, it was not a "we." Yeah, and another thing also to come up with a strategic team, and with this strategic team, we'll look into one, the communication. How are we communicating? How are we coordinating our our events? You know, how can we reach the larger audience? Because remember, this is a political party, and this is a political party. One, you want to be the president. Secondly, you want to make sure that there are people who are going to vie with this your political party, and you have to go all over the country. You know, and you also need to have ambassadors that are in in the vijijini to sell the ideology and the visions of the party. But remember when people wanted to go to Uhuru Park, he went to Narok. What happened in Narok? Yeah, and one of his main reason of not going to uh, Uhuru Park was he doesn't know who is funding them. Yeah, so now, and with the time, things will unfold because I know for a fact you will find that all this, even like the members of the that have worked out, yeah, and where they will be going, there must be somebody behind them. I'm not lying. Because it's not very easy to form a political party. Yeah. And a political party require resources. And if good, the Kenyans have been contributing to Morara, and now when these issues are going to come out, what will happen? Do you think Kenyans are going to have trust even to the group that has walked out from Morara, even Morara himself? Will that one people have those trust in those two groups, even if you come with a political party, come and say Morara is doing this, and Morara will say, okay, you are also doing this. That's why we could not agree. And
That that is what I was telling you. Whatever you are saying, that is what I was telling you. Morara has been accused, even with some of our panelists here who are from abroad, that Morara is a con man.
mhm.
Those are not my words. Those are the words from those people who have said that Morara is a con man. People don't believe in Morara. People cannot go to where Morara. Even the current leadership who are part ways with Morara, who can follow them, who can trust them. That's where my argument was. Who is going to follow them? Who is going to abide their policies? The issue of I. We said that Morara should be we. He should collect people collectively. Now the people who have got out of Inject Party, where are the people? Who are they leading? Who are they talking on their behalf? Where are the Gen Z? Where are they? That's why I was telling you, in my view, but you don't need to, it is not the correct view. It can be wrong or can be right.
Okay.
According to me, if
Mhm.
they want to be in parliament, if at all they want to be in parliament or in county assemblies, they should look for a new political vehicle to allow them to move to those national assembly or county assembly. But they cannot go into county assemblies and national assemblies with the current structure of leaderless, fearless, partyless. That one will not take them anywhere.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me invite Makobura. Before I invite you, let me just read this. Yeah, this is now what Joshua Okayo is giving explanation. Good people, let me put this to rest. Now he's explaining. Most of you don't know how we started with Morara. I and I think that's the source of confusion. Most people think I joined Morara to gain anything. No, that is not the case. Morara reached out to me when he was when he planned the Nyanza region tour. He needed me to go with him so we could do the tour together. I was the first person to join him. I also believed in what he was doing, a great job. I knew it'd be great of me to contribute to the particular work. So anyone who thought I wanted to gain anything from Morara to stand guided. I was actually doing my civic education and engagement very comfortably and passionately. The first frame tells it all. The agreement was let's do tour, then see if we can work together. Refer to the screenshots below. There's so many screenshots that he has put. The same day we left for Nyanza is the first time a group was created for team. I met great people, including Engineer Evans Kimori, Ramogi Ochola, Melvin Sodhiambo, Wakili Steve Mbugwa, General Oguk, Comrade Rangira Kevin, and later on Kot Sonko Mabonga, voice of Tongaren, Maggie, Prince Baba, and many others who have since left the party. I also met great people who became friends. Wakili Solanko Perano, Chairman, Wafula Nangacho, Director of Strategic Communication and Media, Wakio Treasurer, Waziri, and other brilliant and hardworking individuals at the time. Inject hadn't been thought. Hey, kumbe watu walikuwa hapo, watu ambao very learned Kenyans. You know, we went to Nyanza region tour together from Friday to Monday. When we came back to Nairobi, we saw the great feedback from the people of Kenya. We thought now this is the best approach. And so we picked it up as our weekends activity. We made lots of trips in the various regions, and I can tell you there are various nitty gritties that I will talk about someday if I get the chance to. So there's a problem there. He will talk about, but not now. Later on, we thought about Inject Party, and we had to form the team. I was named the interim secretary general of the party at the the service continued. So let's get back to the agreement we had. Let's do this tour and see if can work together. Long story short, we can't work together as such. We differed on principle, and it's so hard to change principle. I'm still very passionate about the cause. I just like many other comrades have also suffered in the hands of this rogue regime. I can't go to bed with the regime. I believe in the so that is a catch. Did you get that?
I got it. Maybe just one comment.
Yeah.
One comment, then I'll leave Makubura proceed. You know, Brother Benson, I like what's happening as a young person, as a fellow young person, because what's happening between Morara and the outgoing team
Mhm.
is very normal. That's how
Yeah.
politics works. The interest has not converged. People must walk out. When William Ruto walked out of ODM, because the interest never converged,
Yeah.
when he walked out, he said many things about Raila, he talked about ill about ODM, and that's how he moved. Raila also stood firm, but now they're working together. That's why I told you, do not be surprised when Morara will work with these fellows in future. But whatever Okai is doing is just a way of getting out. You must have an excuse. You must have something to talk about, because now Morara has decided to own that party as an individual party, the way he has also learned from the older people that in this country, parties are for individual, or they are not for the people.
So
That's a very good start for young people to begin their politics.
okay. Now before I bring in Makobura, because there's something that he says here. He says that uh, 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 I cannot um, go in bed with this regime. Does it mean that he feels that maybe Morara is working with the government of the day, or if not working with the government of the day, or friends with any political party? Yeah, because that is a catch. Because that is what he says. Uh, what you say? I can't go to bed with the regime. I believe in the power of diversity of ideas and opinion, and it's time we turn our diversity into our strength. So that is one. Then again, the powers of ideas and opinion. So which means from the look of things, the divergence view was not accommodated. That is one. So there is no one particular way to fight for the rights of Kenyans. However, there's only one way to win. The rogue regime is in election. That's so from the look of things, Makobura, I don't know whether you've had this story about the SG of Inject Party decided to resign and with young other members, and Morara is now left. It's kind of like the entire office is gone. The Inject Party is there. Morara is with himself. From the look of things, when you look at the interim members of officials have left, you know, what do you say about that?
Thank you. Good evening to you, Mr. Benson and Mr. Meguda. I hope you're doing good. I'm sorry I've joined a little bit late because of issues that we have no control over. To our viewers, I am welcoming you to the show. Wale wamekuwa, tunashukuru sana. So the issue of Morara Kebaso, I think Morara has played part whereby he stood firm, especially during the demonstrations, and after the demonstrations, at least he was very clear. He somehow reminded the people of Kenya what was happening in the government and all those things which the government was not doing right. So from where I sit, I think yes, he did play a good role because it has made the people of Kenya to know even the stand where we are currently, especially when it comes to government promises. We've gotten to learn so many things. we've gotten to understand that a government, we can have a government in place, a government that does not, that give promises and do not actualize. I think if Morara and his team would have maintained, you know, what they were doing, reminding and educating the people of Kenya, I think that would have been a good thing, and probably it would have ended into a party that would, be loved by the young people. But whatever is currently happening, it happened to the young man Marco Ure. So it is a normal thing, the political class, that is the government side, the UDA, all these political parties, they're trying to destabilize the youth because they know that a united youth is a serious youth, is a serious nation, is a serious and difficult people to deal with. So what they're doing is they're trying to buy the youths, they're trying to confuse them so that they get out of, they tend to forget the focus. The main focus is we are supposed to realize we are geared towards ensuring that we get to a point where the country that we live in is a country that is favorable to everyone.
Yeah.
And that was even the dream of the Gen Zs who went out on the street to demonstrate. But we also understand, majority of those who stood firm have been bought. The likes of Marco Ure, they've lost the cause and they've joined political parties that the youths mentioned and were very clear that the parties were not supportive of the motives and the wishes of the youth. So from where I stand, we can't just blame them because they're also human beings and they're also youths. They've got interest here and there. And suppose they've been promised some lucrative positions, maybe they believe that by being or getting into those parties or getting confused the way they are getting confused, there's something that they are going to get out of it. So my point is the use of the Republic of Kenya, the level of poverty and the level of suffering that we are having can make someone to lose focus,
Mhm.
can make someone to even, divert their wishes. And that is what we saw in Marco, where he was a young man who was very active, a fighter, who stood with the youths. If they would have maintained, we are not saying it was wrong for him to get to ODM. It is okay because anyway, if we are serious enough that we want to make change, then we have to get into these parties. We have to be part of these parties. But it was not right time for him to do so because that has made the
Go ahead. Go ahead. Then I will ask you a question.
yeah that has made the focus that the youths had to slow down, and it has even brought confusion among the youths.
Okay. Okay.
Remember,
Mhm.
the issues that the Gen Zs presented before the government were among which the high cost of living, the high cost of, you know, commodities, the level of corruption, a government that was only concentrating on the working class and just their close friends and relatives. These things have not changed, and it is so unfortunate that before we resolved this, they decided to go in bed with a government that does not uh,
No, I don't
consider.
think, Makobura, I think like now we need to be very, 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 very much realistic on the political situation of Kenya here, especially when we want to bring the issue of Gen Z and what is happening to Morara. Because if you look at it widely and you give it a look, um, I tend to believe, uh, hey, hey, brother Ben, good to see you. Hey, thank you so much, Laban Misiani. Umepotelea wapi? Marco Bura, how are you doing? Then Mark also is saying, I'm watching. Marco Bura, when you look at the political landscape in Kenya, and the political landscape, especially like when you come to Kenya and you look at how history of politics have been played, it's the same narrative. There's nothing different that uh, has changed. Because look at even in the formation even of the Inject. You know, during the protest, there are people who are in the forefront. Talk of people like Caliph Cairo. Yeah, they're the people who are very very vocal in the Twitter during those days. But at some point, they pulled down. People call them traitors. You know, we have Boniface Mwangi that people call Anifa, all that. You know, and if at all that the Gen Z had a common goal, you know, and from the beginning, I think we were here, and I gave you a comparison of yellow jacket movements in France in 2018 on how their dreams was not actualized based on one being leaderless, two not having the goals that they want to government, because the very moment you do not have a leader, there is no way in which you can engage in negotiation, because when you have a leader, that what bring what we call order. Where there is no leader, there is no order, because
I I,
there must be,
I totally agree.
yeah, there must be that one person who speaks on your behalf, yeah, in terms of
Yeah,
negotiation, whereby you relay what are the challenges, what do you want, these are what we want, because let's say we are over a million people, yeah, and if you have million and we have the challenges and we want to communicate these million challenges with whoever is in authority, you cannot put million people to sit and have such like conversation. You need to have person that you've identified and give the list of these are the things that these are our demands, but that opportunity did not materialize. And that's why you saw after that one happening, now the people that were on the face of it all, yeah, now come to what is happening in Morara, whereby now they are parting ways with officials. One of the things that is making them to part ways, I think, is the ownership of the party. Very important, because you know in the Kenyan politics, having a party is like having an entrepreneur, is a generating income, especially when you win and you have members of parliament. There's that money that comes from exchequer, yeah, and that's why if you look at even what Okayo is saying, it is the issue of leadership, yeah, whereby one person want to call the shots, and that is what is happening in all these political parties, yeah, and that one might have caused that disagreement. There's no divergence of view. I might disagree with you. This is how we should do it. And you insist, okay, this is my party. You have to do it my way. Yeah. Accountability and transparency. If that is not there, now the political party will not survive.
I totally agree with you. But remember, when the issue of being partyless and the issue of forming a party came, I think my opinion was that it was not necessary to form a political party at
Why?
this time.
Why?
I'll give my reasons. The reasons are the moment you form a political party, first, the political class would try to destabilize that political party. So you give them enough time to try buy the people, the young people who have interest, the young, especially, they will get time to single out and to hold and to know that these are the faces of this party, and that would give the political class an easy time to poach them out the way we've started seeing. So what we said was the moment we start conversing in a political party, disagreements are going to come the same way we are seeing, because we said, or the young people said, that the moment you'll come, one person will come, and then the party looks like, it is owned by an individual. That if you hear of Inject, the person who comes into your mind is Morara. that is when you are going to lose everything. And that is what is currently happening. And the moment you start associating a political party with a singular person, then that is when we start messing up. And then the thinking and the mentality of what we've seen, the kind of political, uh, what we've seen in this country is the political class
Yeah.
and the political parties. They make decisions which are not, without engaging the people, and they run so many things without, consulting the people. And so the thinking was, the moment you come up with a political party, you say that so and so is the the party leader, so and so is the party chairman,
Yeah.
so and so is the secretary general. Conflict is going to start there, and the conflict is actually not going to be coming from the party. It is going to come from the external forces. The external forces are the people like the UDA, the people like the ODM, the big parties which are out. What they will be doing is they will try their level best to start poaching and to even buy the face or the people who've been given the opportunity to lead in this party. And so it was not necessary, from my thinking. It was still okay to hold this until the last minute when the people were ready for this. I understand your argument that you cannot go to a bargaining table without a political party. I agree with you, but there was pressure that they formed the political party. The pressure was actually not coming from the youth, but it was coming from the other political parties or leaders, because they needed to ensure that they finish up the young party that was being brought up. And that is what is currently happening.
Makobur, I still disagree with you 100% in terms of when should we form a political party and about buying. Because one, if it's a matter of buying, you can form a political party even 2 days to election, but it depends with the person who you are. What do you stand for? If you know the reason why you formed this political party and you know the reason why you are going, yeah, because you cannot tell me that when you see all these young people, these are people who are learned, yeah.
Benson, I can be a party leader. We
Mm-hmm,
can form a political party with you.
mm-hmm,
And if other political parties sees that this party that we formed is becoming, you know, the people have started associating themselves with it,
mm-hmm.
then I can be used or you can be used to finish the party with other external forces. That's
Now,
a fact.
is a fact. Now, let me now give you a
So
typical example. Let me give you a typical example. In South Africa right now, we have EFF party, yeah, and we have the party that was recently formed by
it's Jacob Zuma.
Jacob Zuma. If you look at what is happening, the very strong people who share the same ideology with the Julius Malema, including Floyd Shivambu, has gone to that party. There are almost like around 4 strong people in the EFF, and the rumors also has it that Ndozi, yeah, is also headed in that political party. So what matters is one. It depends with the character of yourself.
And that
You
is
can,
what I explained. And
yeah,
I said that
and you are saying like the political party would not be formed that because those people will be bought. Somebody, if your character is one person that can be bought, it doesn't matter when you form a political party, you'll be bought anyway.
I agree with you. But what I'm saying is that there's no one who said that Morara Kebasa should be the party leader of
Yeah,
Inject, or no one proposed him to be a party leader.
true.
And so the forces or the people who forced him, or they started the party, and you know being that they started the party, they thought that it is wise that he be the face of the party, and that is where they messed. We are not saying that we did not need a party leader
Yeah.
for that case, but what we needed is what we've been saying with these political parties is I form a political party, I become the party leader, I make all decisions. Morara Kebasa has formed a political party. He wants the youths of the Republic of Kenya to associate themselves with the party. He wants automatically becomes the party leader. There's no way this party is going to associate, with the young people because it is already owned. And the mentality that was there was we don't want a party that is owned by individual, that instructions and decisions are going to come. And that is why what you can see is there's a good number of youths who are not even aware that there's a party of that, you know, called Inject or anything.
Yeah.
So what the youths wanted was a very clear thing. When we are forming a party, it will not be a party that is going to be owned by individual. We wanted a party that collectively the youth would say that we are giving you a chance to be the leader. You are not going to make decisions as what is going to happen in this party, but what you are going to do is to start the party, and that is the mentality. And what even the people were trying to say, the young people were trying to say that we need to finish the mentality of political class whereby a party started by individual, it becomes a business of an individual, it becomes decisions are being made by one person and the rest. Yeah,
You,
so
you, you
those
know,
were the
Makobura, let me tell you something. If if somebody who have maybe was in the initiation or in the process of starting a party, and the person has stood up to good values and morals, that the people will always associate yourself with it. And this one reminds me, when you come to, especially when you come to the GOP, the GOP that won the presidency in the United States, majority of the time you will find these people calling them the party of Lincoln. And when they say the party of Lincoln, everybody will know that this is a GOP. And the reason why they mention that the party of Lincoln, there's something that Lincoln did that was right then, and the people appreciated. So the identification of a person with a party, it depends with the character that that person exhibits. So if you stand on the moral grounds, and you stand with the view of the people, and what is it that the people want, you know yeah. And if you look at the character of buying, or the character of incentives that we usually have on the Kenya political scene, it is something that is very rampant. Yeah. Even if something is done in the right way, mtu atasema tu huyu amenunuliwa. How many times have we had, like, if you try to disagree, watu watasema huyu ni kama amenunuliwa. Even with the Inject party officials breaking from Morara. Yeah. There are people who are giving negative comments, tuliwa warn mapema. Unaona? Ni
and
kama
something else
imetembea.
that there's also a possibility that even the character of the so-called Morara, it could be that his name is being tainted
Yeah.
because there is a possibility of so many things.
Yeah.
You know what the other political parties are doing? They're trying to rebrand. ODM has started rebranding. UD has started rebranding. Wiper has started with rebranding. And what they're doing is they all want to associate themselves with the young people of the Republic of Kenya. So the best thing to do, according to them, is they can use money or the influence or anything they have to cause discomfort within the young party that was being, formed. You've heard that, from the I know you. I believe you know what AI can do, and if you've been a keen follower of social media, there are some funny clips that have been coming
Yeah.
up,
Mhm.
and those things are not true. They
Mhm.
are just AI, whatever.
Yeah, you can differentiate between AI
Yeah,
generated,
but
and the real
not
person.
it is true. But there are some people that if they see that, they will automatically believe. So social media can be used in a negative manner to destroy the character of someone.
Mhm.
And I even I was watching one that there's one funny clip that I don't know, the president was standing there and then Mudavadi was besides him, and then the person makes some funny things. They start, I don't know, dancing and jumping. There's also another one where he's being sworn in, and then I don't know what happens. I was in a bus, and I'm telling you that some people from the comments of what people are saying, they're saying
Mhm.
that I wish this, this was possible.
Yeah.
Who, some people asking, did they fight for real? These things people take them differently,
Yeah.
and the view of the people is very different. So social media can be used, people can be used. We've seen political surrogates, the likes of the one who comes from you know Siaya, makamu wa rais.
Makamu.
He's been he's been used to try sanitize and to explain, to give so many explanations, especially when the people feel dissenting, have dissenting opinion. So my point is, there's a possibility of anything. What we need to do is, of course, we are learned people, we are keen people, we will get to understand and to know the truth.
Okay. All right, Mr. Makobura, thank you so much. You just came when we were just about to wind up, and I'm seeing Miguda has just left the studio. So, and I need to leave. I don't know. We will talk whether if you can come with the night show at 10. And for those who have been with us, thank you so much. Gitonga, thank you so much. Judith, Brenda, Laban Misiani, asante sana kwa kuungana na mimi. We will be here tomorrow, hopefully. We will discuss about the issues again. Mr. Makobura, thank you so much for joining. And thank you for your contribution. I see you at 10.